Hello, aspirants. A very warm good evening to all of you. Myself, Shweta Mishra, present here as a part of Civil's daily team to initiate a new initiative that is Daily News or Daily Dose, a complete newspaper analysis, especially important from your UPSC perspective. Now we know that most of us or most of the discussions, they cover up all the important editorials and the op-eds, right? Even in our discussion, we have certain things like in Samachar Manthan, we cover up lot of important news analysis, especially related to the editorials and the op-eds. But along with that, especially from your prelims perspective, what is important is the small snippets which we get in our everyday newspapers. Most of the students, they don't get time to read up the newspapers. So for them, we are here with this initiative that is Daily Dose, where we are going to cover up, we take up almost 15 minutes discussion, where we will be covering up small news snippets, that is those news that are important, which can be connected with the UPSC syllabus, and what we talk about as the backward linkages. So basically here we will cover up the important news articles, the small snippets which come up on the front page, on the national news, international news, economy, etc., which can be directly connected to your syllabus, UPSC syllabus. Whatever things, how you are going to approach those news, which is important, or what kind of question could come in prelims as well as in mains, right? Certain things which have been already asked in that term in our previous year lectures, in our previous year papers in UPSC, those things will be covered. So basically, three important points which I want to mention over here before starting this initiative is that the first thing is that we will connect the dots, which will be the linkages from your UPSC syllabus to these news snippets, right? Secondly, how you are going to approach those news and how you are going to utilize those information in your mains, in your essay writing, as well as in your prelims questionnaires, right? And the third part is that we will be covering up certain mappings also, which will be important from your geography perspective, be it prelims, be it mains, or be it essay answer writing, right? So all these things, these three important analysis will be done in our daily dose, that is complete newspaper analysis. Before that, before starting our discussion, I want you all to fill up the Streak Daily Initiative registration form, whose description is given in, whose link is given in the description below. Now that is a free initiative, that is you have to get yourself registered. Now, the importance of this particular Streak initiative is that it will provide you all with the compilation of important news magazines like Yojana, Kurukshetra, Down to Earth, Frontline, etc. All the important news compilations or the important article compilations will be provided to you free of cost. You will also be provided with daily timetable. So if you are not getting time how to manage up your study time along with your jobs or along with your regular studies, if you are not getting time to form an ordered timetable, you are getting a timetable over here, again free of cost. And the third thing which we are giving up over here is the compilation of CSAT questions also. So you are getting mains answer writing initiatives, daily based questions based on which will be important from your mains perspective, 3-4 questions or compilation of questions from your prelims based questionnaires, and also main articles from various important magazines. So I want you all to fill that registration to get registered yourself in the Streak Daily Initiative. With that, let's start with our daily dose, that is complete newspaper analysis for UPSC preparation. What we are going to start, the first in news is regarding a very hot topic today, that is Afghan President Ghani. He leaves country as Taliban reach Kabul. So the nuances of the news will be covered in Samachar Manthan. Important over here is that whatever situation now, what is going to occur, what is the situation as of now in Kabul, as of now in Afghanistan, its impact on India, right? its impact or implications on India, these things. Now, these are certain things, these are the broader aspects which will be covered in editorials. From tomorrow onwards, the editorial will start to come, right? But what is the situation? What are the implications in India and the world? What are the implications? What will be the effects or the aftermath effects on Afghanistan? Those things will be covered. Daily dose ka kya rahega? Whatever will be the thing is that now you have to relate it from your syllabus. अब देखो न्यूज आर्टिकल तो आ गया, चलो अफगान प्रेसिडेंट घानी लीव्स, whatever things are there, whatever nuances are there, that will be covered. What we have to do is we have to look into what we have to read between the lines now. When you see this particular piece of news, things that will come to your mind is that, okay, prelims के point of view से क्या important है यहाँ. So the important point over here is that first of all you have to find the mapping. ठीक है, प्रिलिम्स के पर्सपेक्टिव से मैपिंग इज वन ऑफ द इम्पोर्टेंट एस्पेक्ट्स विच वी कैन नॉट लीव एट ऑल. और इंटरनेशनल रिलेशन से बेसिकली मैपिंग्स दे आर गोइंग टू आस्क यू. ठीक है, तो मैपिंग के हिसाब से नाउ व्हाट वी हैव टू डू इज वी हैव टू फाइंड द लोकेशन ऑफ अफगानिस्तान एंड रिलेटेड टू दैट अगर मेन्स पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू से देखा जाए तो वॉट एवर सिचुएशन हैव अकर्ड इन अफगानिस्तान एज ऑफ नाउ दैट यू हैव टू मेक अप इन योर माइंड, राइट? एक प्रॉपर मैपिंग आपके माइंड में होनी चाहिए कि वॉट एवर थिंग्स आर हैपनिंग उनका इम्प्लीकेशंस क्या हो रहा है. व्हाट वी टॉक अबाउट डायग्राम, मैपिंग, presentation, what we do is we have to innovate ourselves, right? And one of the innovation is by using the maps, by using the data figures, right? The first map I'm showing over here is that mapping में location of Afghanistan. अब अफगानिस्तान को लोकेशन, इट इज अ लैंडलॉक कंट्री फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल, राइट? यानी अगल बगल की जितनी भी कंट्रीज हैं यू शुड बी अवेयर ऑफ इट. एंड वन इंपॉर्टेंट पॉइंट इज दैट इंडिया इज वन ऑफ द नेबर. बहुत हल्की सी बाउंड्री टच होती है बट इट इज वन ऑफ द नेबर दैट यू हैव टू कीप इन माइंड, राइट? सो अफगानिस्तान, द नेबरिंग कंट्रीज आर Iran, right? If you see this particular on the western boundary of this country Afghanistan, Iran is located on the western boundary. In the northwestern boundary we have Turkmenistan and other central Middle East countries like Uzbekistan, Tajikistan, then Pakistan, and a very little boundary from India. It touches the boundary of India if you see in the map, right? तो ये तो important location neighboring की हो गई. And then what is important is the location of its capital. So Kabul की capital कहाँ पे है? It is inside the borders. It is not bordering any country. That is important from your main point of view. क्योंकि statement ये दे सकता है that Kabul is is the capital which is situated along the boundary of Afghanistan and Pakistan. So that is not the case, right? It is located inside. और भी सारे important जो भी वहाँ की locations हैं, whatever locations come in the news, बहुत important locations जैसे कांधार हो गया and all these, Jaran's one of the location which is related to our Chabahar port construction, right? So all these locations are important from your prelims perspective. तो इस तरह से mapping को consider करना है from taking it from the news snippet, right? Secondly, एक और map मैंने यहाँ पे add किया है, that is the sort of exodus which is happening in Afghanistan as of now. Now you see that the president has already left, right? Along with that, there are a lot of refugees who are coming from Afghanistan who are going from Afghanistan to different countries, considering the current position in Afghanistan. Now that Taliban has taken the hold in whole areas. Earlier it was only the rural areas. Now it has taken a hold in the heart of the country, that is Kabul, right? तो वहां से अब situations कैसी हो रही हैं? Now people cannot see themselves as safe as they were earlier, because democracy is not at all available now in Afghanistan. As of now, जो situation है वहाँ पे, right? So there are a lot of exodus which is happening. So most of the population, they are leaving towards Pakistan, 1.44 million. Though people don't want to go in this country, but now situation ऐसी circumstances ऐसे create हो गए हैं that people have to, they are exoding to this, they are exiting themselves to these countries, right? Then we have approximately 7,80,000 people going to Iran, Turkmenistan, Tajikistan basically. So this is how how this whole Taliban hold is playing a role in this particular area, right? So ये important था आपके prelims point of view से. Secondly, what is important over here is that from prelims perspective, mapping is important. Secondly, अब यहाँ पे एक और प्रीलिम्स का क्वेश्चन बन सकता है अबाउट तालिबान, ठीक है? So, what were the situations? What is the history of Taliban? ठीक है, what will be the history of तालिबान जो हुआ वहां पे, या कैसे तालिबान का फॉर्मेशन हुआ, what led to the creation of Taliban in that country, what led to the formation of whatever situation is there in that country. Details में you will read it in your history, in history and international affairs, but prelims point of view से just go through the wiki page of this particular Taliban formation, right? So you will get certain specific things, certain unique characteristic of that place, कुछ ऐसा मिल जाएगा, and then you will be able to get certain specific points. ठीक है, I'm not covering those things. I just want you to tell कि इस तरह से इन न्यूज को अप्रोच करना है, right? So तालिबान से related whatever nuances you get, whatever antique features mostly they give, right? From the first page of Wikipedia, you are going to get all the information. That is important. Mains point of view से is important. यही होगा कि what is the current situation which has formed in Taliban in Afghanistan. What will be the implication on India after the formation after Taliban has now that it has taken the hold in the country? What will be the implications on India and world over? जो हम peace summit की बात करते हैं, whatever, like lot of processes are going on. Istanbul process is one of the linkage, right? अब इस तरह से इस्तानबुल प्रोसेस पे क्वेश्चन आ जाएगा एंड यू विल नॉट बी एबल टू रिकॉल कि भाई इस्तानबुल प्रोसेस तो कुछ था ही नहीं न्यूज में. इस्तानबुल प्रोसेस इज वन ऑफ द प्रोसेस which has been formed. It was one of the summit which was taken up in order to bring peace in Afghanistan. Whatever situation had arrived now that American troop has left the country completely, right? So what will be the now future prospect for the country? तो for that Istanbul process had been made earlier only. तो अब इससे ये link करो कि Istanbul process किससे related and all these things. This can be asked in your exam. So this is how you are going to approach this particular piece of news, right? I hope this is clear to you. Secondly, we come to the second part of this news story, that is CGI views sorry state of affairs in lawmaking. So this was basically the news article was about a summit, a meeting which was held by our Honorable Chief Justice of India, N.V. Ramana. So he took this particular meeting and he lamented over the sorry state of affairs of lawmaking and parliamentary debate in the country. So basically the context of this news is that there was a meeting, and in that N.V. Ramana, he told that whatever debates and discussions which used to happen in the parliament in our early years of formation of our democracy, in formation of our parliament, that kind or that quality is not coming into picture now. So he said that many of the laws which are formed, they are ambiguous, not very much clear, right? They lack clarity, they lack debates and discussions. Whatever depth is required, that we are not getting in our parliamentary debates. The laws are getting passed just like that. So he was of this view that now what we need is we need to have a proper comprehensive look into whatever debates and discussions that are happening in the parliament before the laws are getting passed, before the bills are getting passed and the law are getting formed, right? So in this now, one of the important point over here is that Tribunals Reforms Bill of 2021 had been passed. And on that only he talked about a lot of things. Now, the features of the bill, that it will get covered everywhere, right? Whatever features of the bills are there, that will be covered everywhere. That you will get in Samachar Manthan even. The critical analysis of the bill, that is important from your, though they don't ask the bills, but yes, you should know about the features, why it has come into picture, why it was required. Maybe it will become a law in the later years. So before mains also it can happen कि ये law बन सकता है, right? So you should know the features of the bill, the critical analysis, especially from PRS. Just go and have a look into it. Now, he talked about abolishment of 9 appellate tribunals, including the film certificate appellate tribunal, etc. Now, while reading this piece of news, I got struck at one point, that is where in UPSC 2016, a question in mains was asked regarding tribunals and its effectiveness. Basically, they didn't ask about tribunals, but the quasi judicial bodies. Quasi judicial bodies. So they asked basically, now this quasi judicial bodies is directly mentioned in our syllabus. If you go through your paper 2, GS paper 2, you will find this particular topic, quasi judicial bodies, right? Now there are a lot of quasi judicial bodies in India. If you see, you can take up. Our finance commission is also one of the quasi judicial body. Then we have a lot of tribunals. They are again quasi judicial. So you should know the definition of what quasi judicial means, how effective they are, what are their importance, what are their advantages, disadvantages, limitations. Everything should be there in your mind. So इतने छोटे से न्यूज, this news article doesn't seem very like fancy, right? कि यहाँ से direct question तो नहीं आएगा. But these are the indirect linkages which you are going to get. So quasi judicial bodies के बारे में you should know the definition of it, उसकी effectiveness क्या है, how effective they are in so many years after 75 years of independence, how effective are they, right? हर field में बनाना क्या जरूरी है, merging of quasi judicial bodies was happening, merging of tribunals was taking place. So all these things should be connected now, right? Then for prelims, important over here is he talked about litigations. Lot of litigations are coming into picture. He talked about lot of litigations which are coming into picture. So again, an indirect link to this is your public interest litigation, that is PIL. ठीक है, अब इसके बारे में there always it remains there in the news. ठीक है, जब से public interest litigation आया है, it was passed by Justice P.N. Bhagwati. From that time onwards till now, the public interest litigation has got an important and a crucial role in the judicial arms, right? The people have got this power to go for litigations which are important, which were earlier not seen, which were earlier got dejected. So now people have got this power, so lot of public interest litigations are coming into picture. So important from your prelims perspective is what is PIL, how it came into being, how effective it is, what is the impact of PILs on the citizenry as a whole and on the parliamentarians or the law-making bodies. So these things will become important. Public interest litigation ke baare mein you will get a direct linkage in your this polity syllabus also. ठीक है? So all these things is important. Along with this, what I found was regarding the adjudication of Supreme Court. Why is this? Because in the last, if you see the second last column of this news piece, it said the contributions of the Supreme Court to democratic rights enshrined in the Constitution had been immense over the years. So he talked about the importance of judiciary from our constitutional perspective. Now what you have to do is you have to go and find out the linkages, how the adjudication of judiciary is playing a very important role nowadays. So what is adjudication, right? तो यहाँ पे क्या इंपॉर्टेंट हो जाएगा, बेसिकली नॉट एडजुडिकेशन बट द ज्यूरिसडिक्शन ऑफ सुप्रीम कोर्ट. तो बेसिक पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू से अगर ट्रेडिशनल एस्पेक्ट में हम लोग जाएं इस पर्टिकुलर पीस ऑफ न्यूज से, तो ट्रेडिशनल एस्पेक्ट में इंपॉर्टेंट फ्रॉम योर syllabus point of view is jurisdiction of the judiciary. Sorry, jurisdiction of the Supreme Court. That is original and exclusive jurisdiction, special leave petition, curative petition, public interest litigation, and various other jurisdictions which are provided to the Supreme Court by our Constitution itself. अब वहां पे ये सारी चीजें इंपॉर्टेंट हो जाएंगी. This is how you are going to link up this particular piece of news from your basic or traditional knowledge. ठीक है? So important over here was this only. Rest of the things you can utilize in essay, whatever things he said, whatever the limitations he talked about, that will be important that can be used up in your mains answers, right? The next is news is an oath in whose name. So this was a news article which was there. It talked about recently in Karnataka. The context of the news is that some of the cabinet ministers in Karnataka, they have not taken the oath in the name of the God as was provided by our constitution or in constituent assembly. This was the convention, or this has been provided by the constitution itself, that a member has to take the oath in the name of the God. ठीक है? But recently what happened, and in earlier cases also it had happened, that this has happened that some of the cabinet ministers in Karnataka, they had taken oath in the name of different people whom they consider to be their god or whom they admire a lot. Okay? So on that basis, a proper debate had been provided in this news article. Various constituent assembly debates had been given, that how during the formation of the constitution itself, it was found that since our country is a secular country, so we should not force anyone to take the oath in the name of the god, because there are many people who are not theist, they are atheists, so they don't believe in god. ठीक है, तो जब उस टाइम पे कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन में डिबेट हो रही थी, तो KV Kamath, then our various other members, they said कि भाई जब हम secular country हैं, तो why we should take the oath in the name of the god and all that. So various discussions took place, and ultimately our constituent assembly, it came to the, also they said कि भाई अगर भगवान के नाम पे अगर oath दिलवा रहे हो, तो फिर it will be against the regular ethos of our fundamental rights to religion, ठीक है, right to faith, जिसमें ये भी है कि you cannot profess, you are free to not to profess any religion, जिसमें आप atheist भी हो सकते हो, ठीक है, that is your fundamental right. So those were the things which were taken up. तो इसके बाद ultimately finalize ये हुआ कि नहीं, आपको भगवान in the name of the god only you have to take the oath, and the constituent assembly came with this conclusion, right? So in constituent assembly debates, the framers of the constitution, they rejected the concept of secularism. They rejected the concept of secularism, and they came up with this idea that no, the final oath should be taken in the name of the god, giving the office holders an option to either swear in the name of the god if they so wished. So they provided an alternate. They didn't provide any alternative, but they took it as an option. They provided it as an option कि भाई आपको लेना है तो you can take the oath in the name of the god if they wished so. ठीक है. 2012 में a case came up where he said, where one of the member of parliament, he said that I think from Karnataka Assembly itself, he said that he will take the oath in the name of Narayan Guru, right? Not in the name of God, but in the name of Narayan Guru, because he considered him as his god. So in that, the Supreme Court, it said that this cannot happen, though you have the option to not take the oath in the name of the god. But in 2012 amendment, the Supreme Court observed that an oath by elected representative, it should be taken in the name of the god if person is a believer, or shouldn't, or it should be solemnly affirmed if the person is a non-believer. So the Supreme Court came up with this option that in 2012 amendment, the Supreme Court observed that either you can take the swearing in the name of God, or you can solemnly affirm if a person is a atheist, or if that person doesn't believe in God, right? So this option was provided after the 2012 amendment, but the Supreme Court said that oath of an elected representative should be in strict compliance with the wordings of the Constitution. So oath लिया जा सकता है, but अगर कोई elected representative, that person has to take oath in the name of the God. ठीक है, this was the observation which was made. तो इसमें यही है कि how now linkage over here from your UPSC point of view is that कि oath किसके नाम पे लिया जाता है. Now you have to find it out. ठीक है, कि oath finally किसके. So basically the Constitution has given कि oath has to be taken in the name of the God only. Statement ये आ सकता है कि nowhere in the Constitution it is mentioned that the oath has to be taken in the name of the God. ठीक है, such kind of nuances, such kind of important things you have to take care of. अब जब पढ़ोगे लक्ष्मीकांत, जब when you will read when you will go through the oath affirmation or oath taking ceremony, so you have to take this thing into your mind कि okay, what is the procedure, right? So this was important over here. Next in news is 6,808 dead in rains, cyclones in 3 years. Now this article I have taken up because it is important. that you should know the data figures once you are dealing with disaster management essays. ठीक है, तो essay में क्या होता है basically? Most of the time they ask you, they have a question related to disaster management या environmental aspects, right? तो in cases में you should have sufficient data with you, है ना? डेटा होना चाहिए, तभी एक ऑथेंटिक आंसर बनता है, तभी ऑथेंटिसिटी आती है वॉट एवर यू आर राइटिंग. ठीक है, तो फ्रॉम दैट पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू आई टुक दिस अप एंड वेरियस अदर थिंग्स आर देयर जो कि प्रीलिम्स में हो सकता है, दे कैन आस्क यू. सो इन दिस वन term came up, that is hydrometeorological phenomena or hydrometeorological calamities. Now, what are these hydrometeorological calamities? Hydrometeorological calamities. So, see, such kind of questions are not very direct. It will not be asked directly. ठीक है, but sometimes they do give. कभी पूछ दिया what is cloud burst, कभी पूछ दिया what is heavy mass of clouds, like that. ठीक है, और mass clouds, इस तरह की चीजें. तो you should know these things कि क्या होता है ये, basically what is this kind of thing, right? Hydrometeorological जो events होते हैं या calamities होती हैं वो क्या होती हैं, right? So in this, the hydrometeorological calamities are nothing but they are the hazards which include 3 things or 4 things basically. That is cloudburst. The first is cloudburst. Then landslides. And the third is flash floods. Sometimes they considered even the cyclones. ठीक है, तो ये बेसिकली जो डिफाइन हुआ है डिजास्टर मैनेजमेंट के डेफिनेशन में, द हाइड्रोमीटरोलॉजिकल कैलामिटीज आर दीज 4, दैट इज क्लाउडबर्स्ट, लैंडस्लाइड्स, फ्लैश फ्लड्स एंड साइक्लोन्स. On the basis of this, they have given a data. This was a data which was provided that in the last 3 years, from 2017-18 to 19-20, because of these cyclones or because of these hydrometeorological calamities, the number of deaths that has occurred has crossed around 68. It is approximately 6,800 deaths, where most of the deaths have occurred in West Bengal. Then, after West Bengal, the most affected state is MP, where 833 deaths have occurred. And last but not least is Kerala, where approximately 700 deaths have taken place, right? So because of this, now why most of the deaths have, why most of these calamities had happened or these casualties had taken place in West Bengal? So again, in UPSC, once a question was asked that why Delhi was most affected by pollution. Why Delhi was most affected by pollution, right? तो दे हैव आस्क्ड दिस क्वेश्चन कि इस पर्टिकुलर जगह पे क्यों इतनी ज्यादा प्रॉब्लम है पोल्यूशन की. लाइकवाइज दे कैन आस्क यू कि व्हाई द नंबर ऑफ साइक्लोन्स, व्हाई द नंबर ऑफ कैलामिटीज आर हैपनिंग मोस्टली ऑन द ईस्टर्न कोस्ट ऑफ इंडिया, स्पेशली पर्टिकुलरली वेस्ट बंगाल. तो यहाँ पे इन दिस पर्टिकुलर न्यूज ओनली दे हैव गिवन द रीजन, दैट इज द ज्योग्राफी ऑफ दैट प्लेस इज सच दैट इट प्लेज अ रोल or it aggravates the situation which occurs on the eastern coast of our country. So they said that geography of this state, where there are both the mountains and the coastline. Since it is so vulnerable, because there are mountains also which are vulnerable to the landslides, and we have the coastline which is vulnerable to the cyclones and the flash floods which occur. Then we have Damodar Valley Corporation and everything. ठीक है, तो river valley भी ऐसी बनी हुई है. Then we have the mountains, we have the coastline. So these things play a role that why such number of calamities they happen in the western coast, eastern coast of India, or particularly in West Bengal. ठीक है. Another thing which is important over here is the fund disbursement in terms during the time of disaster management. So over here they have provided you that the funds, they are released by the center under the state disaster response funds. यहाँ से funds release होते हैं, but it is released by the center itself, given to the states. And in disaster management act, under the disaster management act, we have this provision that states were empowered to take action to prevent deaths during the time of calamities, natural calamities. ठीक है. So this is how this whole piece of news will be covered. This whole piece of news will be utilized in your essay, in your mains, and everywhere. Last is related to the earthquake which had occurred in Haiti recently on 16th of August. on 15th of August, that is yesterday. So it killed around 724 people, and Haiti is one of the hotspot, right? Or you can say it is one of the area in the Pacific Ring where most of the earthquake and volcanic activities occur. Now, why it occurs is because of its location. तो अब ज्योग्राफी पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू से अगर देखोगे तो लोकेशन ऐसी है वेयर देयर आर टू प्लेट्स विच आर फॉर्मिंग अ कन्वर्जेंट बाउंड्री. दैट मीन्स दे आर स्ट्राइकिंग अगेंस्ट ईच अदर, राइट? तो वो दो प्लेट्स है कौन सी? दैट इज योर नॉर्थ अमेरिकन प्लेट, इफ यू सी इन दिस फिगर, your North American plate and your Caribbean plate. These two plates, they come here. This is the Caribbean plate. This is the North American plate. Haiti is located somewhere here, and these two plates, they collide with each other, and this becomes one of the important location of these earthquakes and volcanoes. So if you see Haiti, it is a large part of the Caribbean island, right? Which is known as Hispaniola. And it lies on the boundary of the Caribbean and North American plates. That's why, and it forms a convergent boundary. It forms a convergent boundary. That is, the two plates strike against each other at this place. And there was a slippage around a conservative plate boundary that runs through Haiti, and that's why this kind of earthquake had occurred. So, on the first day, I hope that things are becoming clear to you so that you don't have to go through the whole newspaper. I'll be covering up most of the topics over here which are important from your daily dose can be completed. Certain things you can note it down in your notebooks or whatever digital notes you are making, ताकि ये चीजें फिर लास्ट में एक रिविजन के टर्म में आपके पास बुलेट पॉइंट्स में रहे, राइट? सो मैपिंग, then mains and prelims point of view से क्या important है from the very hot topics, right? I'm not going to take up the small news, regional areas and all those things I'm not going to cover. Those things are not that important. लेकिन आपके important जो भी news आई है, जो whatever news snippets are there, from that perspective, whatever things are important, I'll be covering up. So that's it for today, students. We'll meet tomorrow again at the same time. Thank you, guys.
Subscribe to our YouTube channel and press the bell icon on the YouTube app and never miss another update from Civil's Daily.